Thank you all for coming. I hope you can continue to come for all that we have. This one's going to be very exciting. How to introduce this? I want to say, unless any of you have had near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, or ever taken any heavy entheogens, unless any of you regularly practice meditation or, say, breath work, vibrational breath work, I guess maybe you don't know, it's possible you don't know a whole lot about what Angel is going to talk about. Angel is going to be talking about non-ordinary or altered states of reality. He's going to spend some time telling us about these non-ordinary states of reality and how they relate to healing, psychology, anthropology, and art. Before I did any research onto this subject, I had actually come across a video of Stanislav Grof, talking about his experiences with ethnogenic compounds, specifically LSD. In research for giving this introduction, I found out that Stan Grof is a psychologist at the forefront, and really the head, or the top of this breakthrough subject. Stan Grof, who I assume Angel will be talking about a lot, probably, coined the term holotropic, which I'm going to let Angel define, and I won't define it myself for fear of mangling it completely. I believe Angel is going to be talking about such things as breath work, sound technology, dancing, social and sensory isolation, physiological means of reaching altered or non-ordinary states of reality, meditation as well, and use of ethnogenic or psychedelic compounds to reach these non-ordinary states. I want to say, please pay close attention to all of these subjects. One of my favorites is shamanism. I'm afraid that our society, for all of its technological breakthroughs, all of its technological advances, has lost its connection to nature and spirit realms, and I think Angel is going to be talking about that. Pay extra close attention to what Angel might talk about shamanism, and ask yourself how this relates to your own life, and how your life, or how you might relate to a world where shamans might have their rightful place again. Imagine your powers laying just under the surface of each of your beings, hidden by layers of culture. Angel will be talking about how to use these consciousness-focused, non-ordinary or altered states, and how they could be used in healing specifically. I think this is great. Imagine a world without the sterile hospitals we grew up with. I think I'm going to have a very short introduction, but one last thing is, if each of you feels interested in this subject, I suggest you research it and talk to Angel more after the speech. And if you have questions, you can ask him during the question and answer time, but if you really want to talk about it a lot more, research it and talk to Angel further. If you have any questions during the speech, write them down. If you have a paper, write down your questions and ask the questions after the speech. Remember, we are limitless and bound only by our past and our culture. So, thank you. Angel.
Okay.
now on you.
I'll start in time. Yeah, Alex was very specific that we need to keep the time frames. Well, okay, I had this speech basically during one of our classes a few months ago, so it's already prepared PowerPoint. So it's one of my favorite topics, and it's related to consciousness and anthropology and spirituality in a way. So, non-ordinary states of consciousness. What are non-ordinary states of consciousness? Basically, they are altered states of consciousness, but not all altered states of consciousness are ones that we're going to talk now. For example, if a person has a high fever, they might start hallucinating, or they might start seeing visions, etc. Well, or sometimes there might be some cerebral brain trauma, poisonous chemicals, infections, different kinds of degenerative processes in the brain. They can all cause a person to have altered states, right? But they are not kind of types of states that I would be talking. Basically, non-ordinary states of consciousness in Chinese, 非正常意识形态, are basically states of consciousness that can happen to a person, sometimes just spontaneously out of nowhere, but sometimes they can be induced. Most of the time they are deliberately induced. So yeah, just to show you a picture of a very smart, fascinating guy. He's actually a psychiatrist. Yeah? Okay? Yeah. So he's born in Czech Republic, and born in Czech Republic during the times of communism.
What? 1931.
1931. Yeah, he basically took his degree and everything during the communist time, and he finished the medicine. Then he became a psychiatrist, and then he realized that in psychiatry they cannot really cure human emotional problems as fast as in many other things. That you cannot just cut off schizophrenia. You cannot do surgery on manic depression. You cannot do you cannot treat some childhood traumas like you treat a cold. So they're very different type of problems. But he figured out that most of the time it takes years and years and years to achieve significant breakthrough for patients. So once they start receiving vials. Vials are just small amounts of LSD from the Sandler's laboratory from Switzerland. Basically, when Albert Hofmann invented the LSD, the psychiatrists around Europe started thinking, well, this substance is so powerful, maybe we can actually take it ourselves and we can have insight into schizophrenic states. We can know how a schizophrenic mind works by actually inducing
Schizophrenia.
Yeah, we can actually know how does your mind work if we use LSD and then we have this full-blown psychedelic experience. So what happened to him? He agreed to participate in Czech Republic, communism, hardcore atheism and all of that. He agreed to participate on like a trial with his colleagues taking LSD. So he took the LSD and he was in a office with his psychiatrist friends. And what they did was that when he started having distortions in his reality, they put a stroboscope over him. You know what is stroboscopic light? That blinks very fast. It blinks like 20 times in a second. That you can increase or decrease the number of blinks. You usually use it in night bars, in discotheques. Why? Because they use altered states of consciousness. they actually put people in alpha state. Pretty much blinks and our state changes, and then we get all, and it's one of the ways